Dokkan just announced the Super EZA system, and we're gonna make some broken ones today. Real quick, post 3 characters that are older that you would like to see get reworked with the new EZA and given some love. Let me know who those are. Starting for today, for me, out of my 5, the original one that I'm going to talk about here, the first one is Fury Broly. So not only will I talk about a character, I'll also give you guys some examples for passives that I like for characters. And fun fact, you guys can take part in an upcoming Dokkan video as well, where you can do the same thing. So stay tuned for a moment because we'll talk about that in just a moment. So anyways, I said moment twice. Anyways, let's go ahead and hop right in with the first one, Fury Broly. So obviously we don't know exactly all the specifics of the EZA 2 system or Super EZA, whatever you want to call it. We don't really know if they're going to raise the max level for these guys, if they're going to raise the super attack level higher, or what they're going to do, how much stat gain. We don't really know, right? So obviously, I just want to say there will most likely be super or stack attack raises and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens with the stats. But starting things off with Fury Broly, I'm giving him a great attack and defense raise. Now, I looked into the raising mechanic and characters stacking attack and defense. There weren't a lot that actually get a great raise for up to 3 turns or more, and some of those characters are pretty damn broken. Like, well, not broken, but really damn broken in relation to Broly. It's like LR Goku here, or LR Super, or excuse me, you are AGL Vegito there. So anyway, it's not very common, so I think that is going to be the main selling point for this Broly. I was pretty conservative with him because he is, at the end of the day, just a banner character. He's not a Dokkan Fest or anything like that, anything crazy. Once upon a time, I thought it was cool that they gave this guy an EZA literally on release, by the way. On release, not 2 weeks later, on release. But in hindsight being 2020, that's bad. That's very bad. 6 years later, that's bad. It's very bad. Never do it again. So for the passive for this guy, I'm giving him a great attack and defense raise for 3 turns. We also could change the modifier. I didn't really look at modifiers in today's video. So for the passive, we are giving him key +2 at the start of every turn. So we're just going to give him that. We don't really care. It's just kind of a whatever mechanic, right? Attack and defense is now getting raised for Broly from this all the way up to 170% at the start of the turn. Also, Broly will be getting, instead of 20% up to 80 with each attack performed, he is now going to be getting 40 up to 200. So he's going to get plus 40% defense with each attack performed up to 200. He'll also be getting an additional attack plus 40 with each attack received up to 200. So instead of 20 to 80 for both these mechanics, we did change those up to 200. So he will be really, really strong on paper. Moving on from there, we are also going to be giving Broly a 5-turn guard mechanic. So he's going to guard all hits for 5 turns, and he's going to perform an additional with a medium chance to do a second attack. So that is how Broly's going to be looking. So he's going to be doing I gotta, I guess, be more specific there. He's going to do a guaranteed additional, okay? And that additional has a medium chance to be a super attack, is I think what I meant to be. I think that's what I meant for it to be. So he can potentially rattle off 3 supers within a turn. He's got 3-turn great stack raises. He's got guard. He's got up to 200% attack and defense. He's got key +2, so he'll always be supering. He's also got 170 flat. So not the most broken character. I mean, the great raise for 3 turns and above is not very common from what I saw anyway, from quick glance. But I didn't want to go anything crazy with him because, again, he is still just a banner character. Moving on from here. Next on our list is... Did someone say Broly? We are going to take a look at Super Saiyan 3 Broly, a character that has like never been good in this game. So it's funny, but let's see what we can do for this guy. I think there's a lot of room for improvement. But really quick, before we do, I wanted to tell you how you could take part in my next upcoming Dokkan video. All you have to do is choose one of these 5 characters and rework their passive and post it in the comments. It's that simple. If you had a good choice and good changes, I will feature you in an upcoming video. So if all that sounds good, be sure to do that. Choose one of these 5 characters on the screen and post changes down below again so you guys can take part in my next upcoming video. All right, back to Broly. So he's got a lot of room for improvement, as does that like button. Help us hit our goal of 800 likes today. So starting off with Super Saiyan 3 Broly, we're giving him a permanent raise attack and defense. Not great or anything like that. Just a regular raise attack and defense that's just indefinite. So a little bit of fluff there. We're going to give him that. We're also going to give him 150% attack and defense instead of 120. Spoiler, I typically hang out in this video around 150, 170. I don't like going above that too much. Newer characters are above that, obviously. I mean, we see some characters that are like, what, at like 300 or just something like that? I don't know. But they get pretty crazy. I typically hang out around that area. So that is one thing that can obviously be criticized from my Dokkan builds that I'm doing today. Anyway, we're giving him 150 attack and defense. We're also giving him another 100% attack and defense when HP is 40% or above. So that's another mechanic that's not even here yet. We're not even reworking that or anything like that. That's brand new. In fact, I pulled that almost from this guy. Almost. Each character in my video has references that gave me ideas, but it's not a one-to-one, right? Anyway, moving on. Broly will also be generating his own tech orbs. Yes, he needs this badly. He needs this extremely badly. So he will then be generating his own tech orbs. So there's that. I thought about doing some sort of weird wonky mechanic where like he's below 40%, he changes the whole board to tech. That could be kind of cool. Could be kind of crazy when you see the changes I gave him too as well. Also, Broly will be getting 12% attack, defense, and damage cut up to a maximum of 50 per tech orb obtained. So he's getting 12% attack, 12% defense instead of lowering his goddamn defense. He's also getting 10% damage cut up to a maximum of 50 per tech orb obtained. Broly is guaranteed to do an additional and has a great chance to do another additional. He will also do a guaranteed critical hit when he obtains 3 orbs within a turn. So I thought that Broly could be really damn strong like that. I gave him a permanent stacking raise. I gave him a way to get up to 4 supers in a turn. He's going to get the flat bonus, and he'll get another flat bonus when you're higher on HP. He also will be getting his own orb generation, in which he'll get damage, defense, and damage cut with the orbs obtained. And he's going to be, I think he should be pretty solid. He might not be the craziest because I don't really love his links. I don't really love his categories. But I think Broly could be a really solid one. What do you think? Next up, I actually brought UI Goku into the fray. Now, the funny thing is, like I said earlier, you could choose any old character, bro. Any 2017 or whatever EZA. You pick your poison. You can choose any character and rebuild them however you want. But I chose this guy, and I typically chose characters that I really enjoy or that I enjoyed to some degree or that I thought would be a good candidate for today's video. I didn't go, okay, who's the best character for this team? Who's the best this and that? I chose characters that I wanted to do. So keep that in mind. I think this guy could be kind of interesting, though, with an EZA. I actually opted to keep him very minimalist. He's probably the most tame character on my entire video, ironically. So one thing I wanted to say about him is his passive is like he's probably got the damn shortest passive on an EZA in the game. Aside from the guys that got it like first, right? But anyone 2020 and beyond, he's probably got the shortest passive on any character. So anyway, this is actually a gift and a curse, because what this means is if you happen to get knocked low and he spawns the second turn, you'll automatically go Ultra Instinct. You're no more Omen or Sign. You will go Ultra Instinct immediately. There's no 4 turn, 6 turn, blah, blah, blah. He will go immediately. That's kind of unique. So I thought that was really cool. So he also has a regular raise of attack and defense that stacks. So that's cool. However, unfortunately, he doesn't have a way to do additionals or anything like that. He doesn't have any other gimmicks. It's just flat power and then below threshold, transform. Anyway, let's see what we did for him. I thought this one was kind of weird. Let me know what you guys think. Not weird, but kind of crazy. I thought this was kind of crazy. I gave him a great raise to attack and defense. Remember with Broly how I talked about great raises and how they're used on characters, but not as much as you may think. Particularly on a Transformer, I looked at some other Transformers. Not a lot of them get permanent stacks pre and post that are great raises. So I thought that simply was a huge bonus to this guy. Giving him a great raise, permanent, that's again, not turn restricted, stacking bonus is what you should call it, pre and post transformation. So we're giving him that. We also gave him 250% attack and defense. So he's flat, 250 attack and defense with a great raise now. We also gave this guy 1 guaranteed additional with a high chance to do another. So now you're starting to cook a little bit, I think. With guaranteed stacking of great raises and then guaranteed additionals and then a chance to do another one. You can get up to 4 in a turn. I think he's starting to cook a little bit. Next, we gave this guy a support passive. So Realm of God's allies are going to get 2 key and 30% support. Nothing crazy, no 40, no 50, just 30. It's a throwaway thing in there that I wanted to give him. He is also going to get... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. I was blurring. No! No! I accidentally blurred the Gokus. I looked at it on my chart. It said UI and then it said UI again. No, I'm sorry. We were mixing Goku passives. All right, let's do this again. Great raise attacking defense. That's true. Stat raise, obviously, we don't know what that is. We're giving this guy a high chance to dodge. Okay, high chance to dodge. It's regular 50%. High chance. We also gave him 2 key and 30% support. That's it. That's all I gave him. That's all I gave him. I didn't even give him the additionals. Those are on the transformation. Yeah, I kept this guy really bare bones. He picked up support, and he picked up dodge. Because I think it's criminal a UI Goku doesn't have dodge, for the record. He has to have dodge. I don't care. I don't even care. He's getting dodge. No, he's getting dodge. By the way, I'm sure there are other UI Gokus that probably don't have dodge. I don't care. He's getting dodge. All right. Transformed state. He does still have the Great Raise permanently. Passive on this guy. I gave him 250 attack and defense. Also, we gave Goku 1 guaranteed additional. He's always going to do a guaranteed additional super with a high chance to do another. He's also getting guarding all attacks starting from the 2nd turn for 7 turns. The 2nd turn after you've seen him, he's going to get 7-turn guard. Also, we're keeping the key support passive in there. All allies 3 key, 30%. So I actually kind of like repurposed this flat 3 key for himself and just made it a team-wide support passive. But that's what I gave him. So we gave him Great Raise, guaranteed additional, high chance to do another, guarding from 2nd turn for 7 turns. We also gave him support and 250 attack and defense. But make no mistake, I didn't even talk about the stuff he already had. He already had a great chance of evading enemies' attacks, including supers. He already had disable enemies guard, and then he already had a 1-turn invincibility. After he awakens, he's guaranteed to dodge everything for 1 turn. So he, I think, is actually kind of cooking. He's not great pre, but I think post he's cooking. And I think you could add more to pre, but I wouldn't do more because he can transform so damn early. Theoretically, you could transform with him without ever using that Goku form. If you get knocked low and then he spawns in the next turn. Like you just automatically start here. So I think that that's perfectly reasonable for this guy. What do you think? Next on the list, these next two though, I don't think I was all too reasonable. This one though, this may be the most broken one on the list, by the way. All right, so let's see what we got. Such a wonky leader skill, bro. Super class 4 key or extreme class 3 key. Such a wonky leader skill. Shout out to the original LR. Can we just make all this stuff just 120, please? I mean, god dang. I didn't even talk about leaders because we just make this 120 because this is annoying the hell out of me. 4 key, 3 key, I don't care. All right, so LR Goku, the original LR. Oh my god, he's so old, he doesn't have like anything here. He's missing a link. He's literally missing a link. He's got 6 links. All right, so Goku, this is what we gave him. We gave him a 3-turn great raise on the super attack. So he already had a 1-turn raise. They gave him 3. We also added a massive attack increase for the ultra super. We gave him a massive attack increase. And then that's on top of the fact he already does Mega Colossal, then the super attack modifier, 30% for all allies. And then we made I'm not sure if this was or wasn't, if it was just him or for allies. It kind of reads like it could be either way. Anyway, we made it to where all allies get 10% crit chance for 1 turn. So there's that. I could make that 2 turns, but I just left it as 1. Because he wants to be in the front spot. Everything about him screams, put me in the front slot, right? Anyway, for the passive, he's now going to get 159% attack and defense at the start of the turn. He's also going to indefinitely guard against all attacks. We didn't give him any turn restriction. He is always going to have guard. So keep that in mind for Goku as well. Also, we are giving him plus an additional 159% defense and 59% attack as the first attacker in the turn. He's also getting a plus additional 59% attack and defense when performing an ultra super. Next on the passive list, we gave Goku 1 key obtained, plus 1 key obtained per orb. So any orb he gets is going to double up the amount. He's going to get +1 for any orb he gets. So very good for him. I didn't want to give him orb generation. I thought that may be pushing it a little bit. Remember that old school lineup with him and Tech Bardock? That's kind of what I thought about in the first place. So I was like, nah, I might be pushing it a little bit. So we're giving him just the standard key +1 per orb obtained. Every now and again, he'll struggle to get max key, things like that. But nonetheless, moving on from there, we also gave him guaranteed additional super when his key is 20 or more. So there's that. He doesn't have the greatest key links. So it will be, these are all attack links, attack and defense, whatever links. So it's going to be hard for him to get that sometimes. So that's kind of where things are. Anyway, moving on from here, we also gave him all allies get 3 key. So I took this off, right? This all allies get 3 key when attacking extreme class allies. I made this just a permanent all allies 3 key. Actually, you know what? It wouldn't be too bad because they kind of fixed him with the EZA by giving him key passages and stuff. So it wouldn't be too bad, I think. He'll actually, with the key +1, it probably won't be too hard to get the 20 key and stuff like that. Anyway, himself included, all allies are getting 3 key permanently. But when they're versus an extreme class ally, all allies will also get 50%, or extreme class enemy, excuse me. All allies will also get 50% defense for 2 turns. I took that as an inspiration from the new Krillin and 18 character. I like their support passive a lot there in that last line that they have. So that's kind of where that comes from. And last but not least, when HP is 59% or below, once only, he dodges all attacks within the turn and recovers 50% HP. So to summarize, he gets 3 turn Great Raise on the regular super. He gets a massive attack increase on the Ultra Super. He's getting 159% attack and defense at the start of the turn, and he's getting guard at the start of the turn as well indefinitely. He's also going to get key +3 and an additional 159% of defense and a 59% attack increase as the first attacker in a turn. He's also going to get another 59% attack and defense when performing an Ultra Super. He's also going to get an additional 3 key to himself and all allies indefinitely. And then when they're versus an extreme class enemy, everybody's going to get 50% extra defense for 2 turns. Also, Goku will be getting key +1 per orb obtained, and when HP is below 59%, he's going to do a guaranteed dodge for everything within the turn. So just invulnerable, and he's not getting hit. And then also, he's going to recover 50% of your HP at the end of the turn. So, whoo, boy. Yeah, we added like 4 lines onto this guy's passive. Oh my god, I think he would cook. I think he would cook, man. The problem with this guy is that there's a goddamn glut of Super Saiyan Gokus in the game. I think for sure he's the best one, though, right? He's got to be the best one with all that. So moving on to the last character, and he's the first character from Anniversary. It is Super Gogeta. He's the one that I chose to make the literal last character. So let's see how this one goes from here. So this guy was kind of interesting. I didn't, like I said, change any leader skills, so keep that in mind. We added in the ability for him to now get a regular raise of attack and defense, stacking raise. Not a great one, just a regular one. So attack and defense stacking added to the super attack while maintaining the same rest of the super attack as it is. He also is now getting 177% at the start of the turn to attack and defense, while also getting 7 turns of guard. So we gave him 7 turn guard. Also, he's getting 17% attack, defense, and crit chance per rainbow orb obtained. So instead of just 7%, he's now getting 17% attack, defense, and crit chance. He also obviously still has attack effective against all types. So now by giving him guard, we go all the way back to the first year anniversary, and he's got both mechanics. He's got effective and guard. So that's really cool. I like it a lot. Also, he now has rainbow orb changing. I looked into orb changing. There's not a lot of rainbow orb changing still to this day. And a lot of characters that do rainbow orb changing, it's kind of gimmicky, like a chance to do it or things like that. This guy was one of my main inspirations. I wanted to stay more true to this version of Gogeta instead of the DBS Gogeta, where he's doing a lot of dodging. I didn't give mine any dodge or anything like that, but I did give him rainbow orb generation. So even with that, though, he's probably only getting like 3 orbs on average that are rainbow. And so he's only getting that plus, he's getting the attack and defense and crit chance up per rainbow orb obtained. So he's gonna still do he's mostly still gonna get crits, but like it's not like a guaranteed thing. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, We gave him a great chance to perform an additional super with 5 or more orbs obtained. So when he gets 5 orbs in a turn, he has a great chance to do an additional super. He's also getting 17% damage cut per super attack performed within the turn. So that obviously means it's going to leave at the end of the turn, but he's getting 17% more damage cut per orb, or for a super attack, performed. So if you're tracking it, he's getting attack and defense, he's getting guard, he's getting 17% attack and defense, and crit chance per rainbow obtained. Speaking of rainbows, he does generate rainbows. He's also obviously still effective against all types. He has a great chance of performing an additional super with 5 or more orbs obtained. Any orb, not rainbow, obviously. Also, gets damage cut per super and stacks attack and defense. So I like the way he turned out. I actually really like the way he turned out. So again, remember, those 5 characters, the floor is yours. I want you to pick one of them and let me know what changes you would make. If you enjoyed, remember, it's free. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe.